How y'all doing? I'm showing me putting on my new phone case to an extent, and I'm rambling on a lot. But I kind of, hopefully, I articulated enough about my children, how they're coming back and starting to ask me questions, and hopefully, we'll be close enough to where they keep the channel alive after I'm gone, and just kind of showing those feelings if it comes across. So enjoy and thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Well, I'm gonna have to repair my phone case. So I bought a phone case today. And check that out. The rubber is pretty much shot. This thing went out first that covers the charging port. That broke, and then when that broke, it had a little line. It kept getting away the charges. I broke it, and then all of a sudden, everything else started breaking. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the charging case on this one with a new one because these phones are expensive. Yeah. So this is the old case. It's all broke. And this will be a new case. And I got a lifetime warranty on the screen protector, but it's working pretty good right now, so I'm gonna leave it alone. So I'll put this stuff on there. Well, I got my new case on. Yeah. Been missing that cover for a while, so looks pretty good. Well, chicken, rice and gravy, and beans and green beans. Barbecue chicken, mustard base, collards, greens, chicken noodles, rolls. Yeah.
Got it on some.
Doesn't look good, though. Look at that. Banana pudding. Boy. It ain't that big as it looks, see? I gotta take care of myself, so I'll be here to guide them along the way. If they start to ask me questions now, I'm starting to feel useful. I love y'all. Clemson territory. See, South Carolina laying on the thing. Clemson's being displayed. Even the Georgia Bulldogs being displayed. They didn't even take that one out of the package. What did I tell you? After eating, we come over to Goodwill. But usually they don't have anything to fit me, so I told my son, you see anything that fits me, let me know and I'll come in and try it on. Yeah, I'm trying to get my children to step up and be more independent. And I thought they had. But when they were younger, they took it as I didn't know anything. And I didn't have a lot of time. I was working and going to school, and we didn't even go on vacation. I was taking some online college classes. But here recently, my relationship with my children has gotten stronger. And we were empty nesters for a while. And now the kids are wanting to move where we moved. So, go figure. But what's so cool, my son had a tablet. I think I'm saying it right. And it was only like worth, I think he paid $50 for it. And I can get it for $40-something. Well, once you take the tablet off, it has a square thing. And you can see the white line. I mean, this is the battery. And you can see it going into the circuit board. Well, we went to a place that fixes cell phones and tablets, and it's Android. So they probably would have sent it off to somewhere else and got it fixed. And they said they didn't feel right, which I shook his hand when he told me this. They did not feel right charging, they said $100 minimum, probably $200-something, just because my son likes the software that he downloaded. But basically, he likes reading these little things, and he's got ADHD like me, so he's reading them all, and he didn't write his progress. So he gets very anxious about stuff. And I was trying to tell him what I do. You can't just get another battery because the charging port's messed up. So we went in there, and it's a business, but they didn't even feel right, telling him, hey, we'll fix it. And then, you pay us all this money for a 40 something dollar tablet just to put another charging port in. So my idea, I told them what I was thinking about doing, and they said, well, that should work, and hopefully used to, they had static electricity, if you do that and touch something and fry it, but hopefully it's not that bad. They said, don't use anything metal, but the battery, hopefully he can order the same model number for 40 something dollars. And the battery is square, and it has like the little cord, and it has like the white pin connections, just like kind of like a remote control car. So you just unplug the pin connections, and he said he'll let me start with the video and all if we can get it done, but he ain't gonna let me do the whole progress. He said you need to be 1,010% focused, so he'll let me video a little bit, and then I have to ad lib. But hopefully this ain't one of my crazy ideas that don't work. So I've talked them into ordering another tablet for 40 something dollars, and we're going to have it fully charged. We're going to take the back off, take the battery out of that, put the battery in the new one, and hopefully he can get all his stuff saved and figure out transfer. And if you can't remember his place, I said just take a bunch of screenshots of it, and then you'll know where you're at on the other one, and hopefully it'll work. But instead of paying $200 something, and he needs a new tablet anyway, so he'll have a new tablet that's he's for his use. So hopefully, my kids kind of asking me stuff, and some of the stuff they're asking me challenging, but I'm willing to give it a whirl, and hopefully they won't regret me helping them. And then my daughter, she wants to go back to school and go to college, and she's asking me about, the basic stuff about the FAFSA and sending transcripts. And, I enjoy her asking me. I can't help them financially with anything, but I can ask questions, or send emails. And so it's kind of nice the kids, kind of looking at me and saying, hey Dad, how do I do this? What I need to do? And I want them to be independent, but it's kind of nice for them to ask me stuff, and I try to help them best my ability. I guess I did the same thing. You forget stuff that you've had to help with or done, but then you remember it later. Like my dad, there was a festival in Greenville, South Carolina, and it used to be a bunch of air balloons, and they would go up, and they would have all kind of stuff. And this was before like DirecTV or Dish Network, before they were really going popular. They had this thing like Echo Star, and I mean, it was up there. It was like probably $5,000 or something. I forget what it was. It was expensive, $3,000. Now the thing, you could pay the subscriptions. It had HBO and Cinemax and all the regular channels, and it'd get by satellite. But this thing, it was a big dish, and I might be wrong with some of the details, but you'd hear the thing move. It'd go, and it'd focus on those stations. Well, I had a warranty on it, and I called, and they were out of state. They would have to send somebody to do it. And I called, and I couldn't get a hold of them. I was getting so frustrated, and I was working. And my dad was retired at the time. Somehow, he was playing golf with the owner of the company. I don't know how he did that, but it's all about who you know and his experience. And he was able to call and get the guy to come fix it. And they come all the way out there and brought a new box or motor or whatever it was. But the company was almost out of business. They were trying to compete. They launched satellite, had it up. But even without a subscription, you could still get channels that were kind of free. It'd pick up channels, and then, of course, went out of business, or the motor quit working, and it just too expensive versus Dish. just mount a little dish and point it at the satellite. And so that went out the window. But my dad helped me with that because I couldn't get through to anybody and I was having trouble. So some of that experience, I guess, has helped me to be able to help my kids. So it's nice to pay it back. My dad told me some crazy stuff too, where I didn't ask his advice anymore. I started finding out stuff on my own because some of his advice, what? would get you that, So anyway, and then a lot of times I would ask people, just random folks, about things, and then I do it myself anyway. But you gotta be careful of that. Thank goodness we got Google now. We didn't have it years ago, so we can do things different. Because my wife, she's been challenging, and I think I described it, but her fluid was going up like 10 pounds, and we was having a hard time. And they say, water follows salt. She was salting, so now she's not salting her food, but she got so many problems. And she hadn't been in the hospital. She went in the emergency room to have fluid drawn like April the 16th. This ain't medical advice. This is just like what I'm trying to figure out. It took me forever to get all the medicines right, listed. So I got her medicines. I can do her medicines now. It takes me about 50 minutes. But I can do her night and medicines and her day medicines in the tray for a week. But, they had to keep up which one she gets filled and if she's getting the right one filled and which one she ain't on no more and all that. And we got the fluid. So I said, well, if you get your fluid regulated, you start walking a little bit. If she can, she still has to have oxygen and, kind of maintain. Well, now we got this, she's got gastroparesis, and we just come back from Charleston, and they were supposed to expand the esophagus. I talked about this a little bit, and when he just went through the camera, it just popped open, but food's there. And she's been taking the medicine from the doctor for like indigestion, but it ain't going to do any good if all the food won't get out of the stomach. So now we got to learn a whole new system to eating. And, she don't want to eat just Boost or Ensure drinks all the time and Jello and water, because with a gastroparesis, she has the slow emptying. So when normal people, it empties out, but they want to eat like 5 meals a day, and then it's going to get slow emptying. So this is a new challenge. So I'm up for it. And I give all the credit, to the Lord, because it's like, if you ever wanted God to talk to you, and that's just the way I believe. I've seen a lot of things, and it's just, it's like hard-headed me, and I believe. And luckily, I was raised that way, and I've seen things firsthand. One of the first things that really got my faith was when I was running high school, and the guy that come up to me, he's dead now. He drowned, and when he was a senior, but he was in 9th grade, and we was doing JRTC, running along the road. Well, the guy in front of me was ahead of me, but I did extra push-ups and sit-ups, so I had a higher percentage back then. I was better shape, and I crossed over, and I didn't really look back to see the car. Well, old guy, he was like 70-something years old. He hit me. He hit this leg and flipped me up, and I landed on my chest. I said, "Dear Lord, don't let my leg be broke." And I stood up, but my pants were ripped. I was sore, but I finished. And then they took me to the doctor, and, it's a long story with all that stuff. But, that really confirmed my faith. And certain things that happen, I got some crazy ideas every now and then, or I'll be doing something or thinking about something, and then all of a sudden something will say, it's kind of like something writes something on my brain, and I'll hear something, and it's like, hey, why don't you try this? And, my mom said it was common sense. I don't know if I have any common sense, but it's just like the Lord would just give me these ideas to try, and it's benefited, like trying anything like that. You know, you pray and might not answer your question right then when you talking to them or praying, but then all of a sudden it's like the idea comes, you don't need that or take that from you. You know, just it's powerful, man. And it talk to you that way, like, hey, you know, this idea, it's kind of like your own head, but you wouldn't have thought of that on your own. You would have been bumping in the walls and falling down, and you got the solution, a very powerful solution. You know, just certain things that I thought about my wife with her food, chopping it up. But, you know, there's more knowledge, and it's just, I just wanted to share that. I'm probably rambling on as usual. But, you know, my kids are asking me for stuff, and then, of course, the grandkids, they're little babies. And I said, don't do that, don't do that. But one of them, I love him, you know, and I want to say this, and I got some on private with them that I put on private, and hopefully they'll see it one day if they don't delete the channel. But he'll be 5 next month, and he's just busy, and he's slowing down. But he says, "Oh, you need gas," you know, and I come around the car, and he closed it, you know, because he knows he ain't supposed to do it that. But he opened my gas cap. I don't know if he got the cap, but there was all kind of dirt in there. It was a real dirty dirt in the yard, driveway. So I'm like, oh man, I hope he didn't put dirt in the gas tank. Said, I filled up gas. I did. I said, don't fill my gas up. I will buy my own gas. And then I was trying to explain to him, you know, I said, well, I'm your granddaddy. And he heard daddy, and he said, no, that's my daddy. Or you're Bubba, you know, his brother's granddaddy. You ain't my granddaddy. I said, I'm your granddaddy. And, you know, and I don't know if he understood or not, but hopefully, you know, I'm his papa, but I'm his granddaddy. And I said, your mama is my daughter. Trying to explain this, you know, little ADHD grandson that terrorizes everything. And then the other one, he's only like 1 year and 7 months, and stop, don't do that. You know, don't do that, don't do that. And he listens. And he's always wanting to bring you something. And the other one's wanting to throw something at you. So, you know, I love both of them, but I like the other one a little bit better. He's not as mean. But, you know, hopefully he won't catch all these bad habits from his older brother. But, you know, getting to see them, and, you know, my daughter goes to school. She'll be sitting right here on my little cheap, I don't know what it is. I guess a laptop I got. And she'll be going to college on that, I guess. Who knows? She's talking about all kind of stuff she wants to do, like teacher assistant. And I can't really do anything because my wife's sick. So, you know, I work a little weekend job, and then I get paid to take care of my wife, and it's okay. But, you know, then you got to decide how you want to spend your time, and you only got so much time left, and, you know, all that mess. But I enjoy doing YouTube. It's what I spend some time on, I guess. You know, but I appreciate you guys watching. And my mom's even, I can't see my mom like I want to. So all my videos, on YouTube, you can do your video and go share. And I'll hit the share button and put my mom's phone in and share her the videos. And then she'll like it. And oh, that was a good video, you know. So, hey, mama. And she helped me a lot. When I was going to school for my 2-year degree, I finished my bachelor's in 2018. And that we still had good technology, but writing the reports, you know, they had the different formats, and I'm better at math than I am at the English. And sometimes the way I say things, just the way my brain is, I didn't realize that I had children, and like, oh, that's what's wrong with me. Like the ADHD. So instead of saying the sentence or English the proper way and how it's supposed to say, you know, like the bus has a big seat in it. You know, I'd say, you know, the seat in that bus over there, and that bus happened to be big. You know, I'd say it all kind of ways out of context or out of the way, and people are used to hearing it the proper way. So a lot of times people have no idea what I'm talking about because I I told them, but I said it backwards. And it's not, I ain't meaning to. It's just me. So when I'd write the same way. And my mom would read it and she'd say, "Oh, try change this around and all." And then, I use like Grammarly and the college software writing, so I was able to pass. But I just get her a second set of eyes to look at it. Hey, this sound all right. So my mom would collab with me on the phone, and I'd send her the file, and we'd look at it, and I'd change it at the same time she changed it. I'd edit it a little bit and all that. So, thank you, Mom. The English papers and all. So now my daughter's wanting to do some college, but she's got 2 babies, young babies, and I can't babysit them all the time. And my wife can't. She wants to. Her mind thinks up, then I got to slow down. It's like, baby, her good days are like bad days. Her bad days are really bad days. But she's doing pretty good. I try. I can do little things. I have to think about it. It takes time, but, time is better if you don't have the whole lot of money to give somebody. Like I got my son with his tablet. It turned out beneficial because I needed my phone fixed, and I've been looking online, and Walmart was like $100 or $80. I didn't go in the store to look, so I might be wrong, but they're like $65 today. I bought 2 of them. My wife needs one, but she said she can use hers, all her, just the bottom part, the charger sticks in is bad. But yeah, man, kind of nice to feel useful, your kids, and I like all the comments everybody kind of gives me too, the good comments. When, they like it. Mom had the cicadas. I don't have any. And then I found out tonight, my daughter and them went camping last weekend, and there's a park. I don't know how I'm going to get over there, and it might be too late, but they had them all he showed me pictures. They were all in the bathroom. The parks usually have like a outhouse, but it's kind of nice. It's a bathroom at the campgrounds. They were all over the floor, and he said they were all over his tent and everything. And I said, did they have red eyes? So he did not notice the red eyes. So I don't know if they were cicadas. They kind of look like cicadas, and he said they were making the same noise that my mom sent, the that eerie cicada noise. So I guess it might have been cicadas. I didn't get close enough to look at the red eyes. And maybe when they're dead, their eyes ain't red, because he didn't see them kind of when they're alive. But kind of freaked him out a little bit because he was stepping on them and everything. They were everywhere. But yeah, man, just, enjoying life, like fixing things, getting into stuff, all the time coming up with crazy ideas. I had one today. Well, the other day, my son loves these little BB guns and air rifles. And when I had one that just pumped up 10 times, Crossman, I believe. And I still got it, but the air cylinder is bad. So I hadn't even really researched how to fix it. But that'd be cool to fix. But he likes those little CO2 cartridges, and I was thinking, well, he said, if I went to Kentucky, I could do them. And I said, well, how much are they? He said, well, you can get a whole bunch of them, like $20. And I said, wow. I said, okay. So I thought about fixing the CO2 cartridges, but, if you can get like 40 of them, $20, you had to fix a lot. So who knows? But when I talked the other day, if anybody's interested, I had, I don't know if you see it. I broke his feather. I don't know where it is. I got that Indian at a flea market, which no longer here now. It's like a pallet processing center. And they had this old statue in there. Well, when I lived with my mom, it was in the basement. I lived in the basement for a little while until I got my own place. So it's kind of funny because somebody commented, "You're in your mom's basement." And I'm like, well, I got my own house now, but I lived downstairs in kind of basement, but the basement went out to the ground. So it's kind of built in a hill. All of them was. Kind of old looking houses, probably 1940s, 1950s, you know, and they've been updated. They had like the 1970s kitchen style. So it was updated, but it was still old when we lived there. But I had an Indian downstairs, and every time my mom would come downstairs when I lived there, it's before I moved out, she'd see that Indian think somebody was down there. Because the guy was kind of like I don't know if the person built the house or he was a carpenter or he made some, you know, kind of in the wall. He did some fancy stuff with, built like a dresser inside the wall, and you could pull stuff out, and it had like a table and a mirror, and you know, you could set the stuff on it. And every time they come down there, they see my little Indian. Scared to death. But yeah, just reminiscing, rambling on, and thank y'all for watching. Now, I'll just keep making them till, you know, I have to get busy doing something else. But we'll be here for the long haul. And you know, it's crazy too. This is a boot string, and they're kind of getting frayed. But when I went to the boot store, they wanted to sell me 56 inches. I think this is 72 inches, so this works for my boots. And they went by the eyes on the boot, so the whatever you call it, they go by the pair of eyelets, the lacing guide, and that tells you how much you're supposed to get. Well, they sold me like a 54 inch. I couldn't even lace the thing up, so I had to get a 72 inch. And I was wondering, because my boots, one of my boot strings is kind of frayed, and I was like, man, I hope this thing don't break when I'm at work. And I couldn't remember where I put my boot straps, my extra one that I had in case I need it. So I found it. So I'm happy about that. You know, might not be able to fix it right then, but eventually we'll get fixed. A month later, 2 years later, who knows? But eventually get fixed. And my granddad, he was older, and he said, don't worry about it. Put it off to another day, because, you know, he was old, so he might not be here. So he just say, put it off another day, and then I'll bother with it. But I tried to fix it. Just I had to think about how to fix it. I was like, oh, what? I got to do that? What, I got to do this? You know, stuff like that. So I get distracted. But anyway, good luck fixing things, and enjoy your kids. You know, some people have a good relationship where the children listen to them the whole time, which is great. I envy that. But mine kind of they thought I didn't know anything. You know, went to school, thought that would be good, get a degree. Hey, you know, get a degree, get a good job. But, you know, a lot of y'all know that's not the case. You know, so it's like you get so many degrees, it's like, well, you know, it's a business. So who knows? Who knows? It works for some people, but you got to have the right degree, and you got to have the networking, and you got to have the skills, because skills change. You know, they went Windows 10 and then Windows 11, but Microsoft Office, and then it changed, and everything's everywhere else. It does the same thing, but then they got new features, and these features moved, and, you know, basic stuff you need to know, like pivot tables and all for certain things, and you barely touch it at school, but then they do it every day, you know, and then everything's changing with technology taking over. So who knows? It'll work out. We'll be, I believe right now at this present time, I'm where I'm meant to be. And I wanted to share a new update. They said it would take 2 months. I think it's been about 3 weeks. I don't remember exactly, but when I talked about it last, but I got an opportunity. I was starting the CDL A class. Well, I went for the B class because when I was pressing down on the foot pedal, I had pain all in here and right here. I said, man, and the guy said, take a bunch of Tylenol or, you know, ibuprofen before you come out here. And then I'm going to be like sleepy, because that makes me sleepy. It don't jack me up. So I said, I don't want to do that. I'm not safe. So I went and stepped down to B class. So I could drive a dump truck or a propane truck, you know, if I wanted to. It was free. Why not? But, and I did the tankers. Well, they gave me an opportunity to do hazmat. The other, you know, DL entry level driver's training. So ELDT for the hazmat. And it's good for every 5 years. So I did it through the computer, did the training, and then you got to get fingerprinted. So I did that. So now, and I got a thing through Adenium saying that I've qualified. I passed the fingerprinting thing today. So now I got to start studying for the little 60 questions on the hazmat. Go to the DMV, tell them I'm there to take the test. I go take the test, and then they'll pay for the test and my license, probably about $42, and then I'll have my hazmat. You never know. A lot of safety stuff on it. So I got all the questions I can study and review, and hopefully these guys, but I can't really do anything right now, but I have it for a backup. As long as I keep my sugar, blood pressure, and just find somebody to take a chance on me, because I have a license. I just had to get the experience. And I'm like an old guy now. So, you know, I drive the speed limit in my car's kind of got issues. So if I drive the speed limit, it works like a charm. If I drive fast, it wants to not pass gas. But you know, it's always something, man. It's always something. So thank you guys for watching my videos. And I know it's a long one. I'm excited. I had me a couple of spoons of peanut butter. Got my shoestring, and I'm gonna keep this so I remember what it is. You know, the phones are so nice. You know, I got my medicine. I got my wife's medicine on the phone, on the notes. I got it on my spreadsheet. I got a thing on Google where you can email it to yourself. So I got all, so I don't forget. And if I lose it, I got like 4 or 5 backups. The digital backups are nice. You know, email, you save it, it stores it for you. You can make stuff on YouTube if you remember what video it was, record stuff. So Google, it's pretty cool. YouTube's pretty cool. You know, I have a good time. And who knows, Google's here. Like, can you imagine if people watch this stuff, go back and like history or well, my history, and then they see, like, you know, they have cars that you can just use an app to get in, because nobody's gonna own a car if that comes to pass. And everything gets crazy with technology. You know, no paper money disappears. It's all electronic. And just the concepts of what we do now seem so strange. Almost like how you grew up, and then your children, even though it's only a few years, but the stuff they learn is different from you. And, you know, of course, the way you are, and then you go to school and they got all the different personalities they got to fit in and fend for themselves. And then you're just there, and then they think you don't know anything, and then they get older, and then they start listening to you, and it's rewarding. You know, it's a beautiful thing that they can come back to you and listen, and your kids come back around, you know. And even they didn't do nothing really bad. It's just they had to figure out for themselves that, hey, that old guy might know some things. He ain't crazy after all. Well, he probably is, but he might know a thing or two, you know. Even though he can't articulate what he wants to say, but I can figure it out, you know. So it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. But, you know, thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a good one, and, you know, stay safe and everything, and we'll talk at you later.